Hello everyone, my name is John Bussard. I'm an HPE Business Transformation Center engineer for Ingram Micro. I help support servers, blade systems, storage, as well as networking technology solutions from HPE. In my videos, what I normally like to do is show you a slide from a popular PowerPoint and then demonstrate to you what that means within a management interface. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do an unboxing video. And we're going to look at the HPE Nimble 5th generation storage system. In particular, we're going to be looking at an AF40 based storage system. So the AF in AF40 means it's an all-flash array based solution. Now if I had an HF, that would be a hybrid flash array. And what that means is that would be a spinning disk based solution with just enough SSD drives to be able to augment performance. So certainly these solutions are predictive, cloud ready, as well as timeless. I'm going to talk a little bit about timeless. So certainly this solution has an all-inclusive licensing. The thing you have to buy after the fact in order to be able to get this solution to perform as expected. It does have an active-passive model to its controllers in the environment. So most arrays will have active-active based controllers, and what that means is some of your volumes are supported by one of the controllers, and other volumes are supported by the secondary controller in the solution. And if any one of those controllers fails, then the surviving controller would take ownership of all those volumes. Right, now the downside to that is the performance characteristics of that, meaning that if you haven't sized the solution correctly, all those volumes couldn't be serviced by the one controller and give the proper performance characteristics that may be needed for your mission critical applications inside your environment. So with an active-passive model, we have the ability to be able to do some interesting things. So a lot of us think that hey, how often does a controller actually fail? But maybe not so often, but we do actually have firmware upgrades that are happening at a quicker pace, especially with all the security concerns that are kind of out there. And in that case, in an active model, in order to be able to do those upgrades, you're going to need to actually down one of those controllers to be able to bring that up. So again, we can run into those resource contention issues. Inside a Nimble storage solution, we have the ability to upgrade the dormant controller, fail things on over seamlessly, right, and upgrade what was the active controller in that environment. So upgrades can happen, during production time and things of that nature. Right, this active-passive model also allows us to be able to upgrade our solutions. So like I had mentioned, I have an AF40 based solution. If I wanted to upgrade to an AF60 based solution, what I would do is I'd go buy the AF60 controllers, right, and I replace one of the dormant controller with an AF60 controller, fail things on over, right, and then what was the older AF40 controller, I'd pull that out because now that's dormant, and I replace that with an AF60 controller. And I can kind of step my way all the way up to an AF80 based storage solution would be the ultimate performance as far as these solutions are concerned. So with all that being said, why don't we unbox this solution and look at the inside of this storage solution. Okay, as you can see, this is the box for our AF40 system, so the Nimble all-flash array. We're going to take a look inside. There's not a whole lot from this perspective unboxing this guy, but still I want to be thorough in what I show you. So let's open this guy up and take a look inside. So right off the bat, we can see the rack mount rails up here. Come out for you, rack mount rails, pretty straightforward. We have a little bit of packing over here, more packing over here, and right off the bat here we can see is a rack mount guide, as well as it gives you a little bit of information on some of the interfaces that you'll see on the back. That's pretty much it of what we have within the box. Now this guy's pretty heavy, so let me get this guy out and then we'll take a look at some other angles of the system. Okay, we've got our Nimble storage system out of the box. This is the top of it. Not a real lot to see on the top of it. Once I pulled it out of the box, underneath it was this box here. And this had a few things in it I thought I would show you as well. So it's the front panel bezel. Obviously some safety information. And a couple power cords. We'll slap the bezel on once we look at the front. Now, some other things that we can look at, certainly I think we can get a better view of the power supplies. So there's one of the power supplies here. And again, we'll look a little bit more at that when we get to the back, just so you can see them. And how about we take out one of the two controllers? And I'm going to take out the A controller, but they look the same. The A and B controller look exactly the same. So there it is. Pop off the top. Looks a lot like a PC. Got a drive back here. I got some fans, a couple processors, and some memory here. All right, pretty straightforward. Slide this back in. And let's take a look at the back of this system. Okay, here's the back of our all-flash Nimble storage system, or AF40. Here are the two power supplies. I pulled out one of them for you as we were looking at the top view, so the two redundant power supplies. Here are our two controllers. This is certainly an active passive-based storage system, so only one of these controllers is ever active at any given time. The controller I pulled out for you on the top view was this controller here. This controller is an iSCSI-based controller, and it has two SFP ports per controller, and there's these 10 gig SFPs installed in them. Some other ports that are on each of these controllers is the two management ports, the two SAS expansion ports for additional SAS storage shelves, and then there's some blocked off ports over here. A couple of them look like they're USB ports on the back. Now, another interesting thing on each of these controllers, I have these 1/8" ports over here, which will connect what's strapped over here are some serial cables. Right. So those cables go into there. So in the worst case circumstances, you could console into this guy and get access to the storage system. I've never had a need to use anything like that in this Nimble storage box, but they're there in case you do. Okay, here's the front of our AF40. Real quick, over here is a power button. Over here is a status LED for the A controller. And here's another one over here for the B controller. Now my system can hold 48 drives, and they're half filled right now, meaning I only have 24 drives. Each one of these is a 3.5" carrier that can hold two 2.5" drives. So I'll pop out one of these drives. So the top one in each of these spaces is populated. And this is a 480 gig SSD drive. And then again, the bottom one in each one of these 3.5" spaces is unpopulated for future expansion. Now, they don't want you to accidentally pop out one of the 3.5" carriers, because if you had a bad drive, you don't want to pull out a secondary drive, although it is resilient enough to be able to handle that type of failure, but you don't necessarily want to cause that type of thing. So you can get the 3.5" drives out, but you just can't just push at it. There's actually a little plastic piece you have to get your kind of thumbnail into and pull out. All right, once that's been pulled out, then you can pull out this carrier. And that would take out, again, the two drives. So this is an all-flash model, so it's all filled with the 2.5" drives. Now, if you had a hybrid model or adaptive flash model, most of these would be 3.5" drives, and some drives across the bottom would be SSD drives in order to be able to support its algorithm for performance. So, with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and please stay tuned for more videos.